just when you thought it could get no worse, Moreno Valley once again proves everybody wrong. It's the Hot Seat Radio Show. Donovan Sadiq, Sean Florentine. Pastor Don has stopped by to please pray for us. Pastor. Please pray for us. And Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell, and we're going to give you the latest update on the shenanigans going on in Moreno Valley. Now, we all thought we were headed in a great, great direction. But once again, it looks like the Phantom Tom Owings is back. So, Sean, I want you to start us off. Tell us what happened. You were
I made a list of stuff.
thing last night. So, okay, well, let me go to Daryl. Daryl, you were there, Mr. Moreno Valley. Give us a synopsis of how did our meeting go last night?
It was chaos. It was a circus, to be honest with you. One word.
Well, so it was a normal meeting.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
it was
Worse than normal.
Well, yeah, worse. It was
Very embarrassing.
It was embarrassing because it was just like it seemed it was like high school antics at its worst.
Led by Luis Calameres.
Well, it was a whole bunch of people.
The Goon Squad.
Suspects.
Okay, the Goon Squad.
Usual suspects.
Okay.
And his maturity was. You needed an adult in the room. There was no adults in the room.
And these are the people we elected.
Well,
I didn't elect them.
adults were all limited to 3 minutes.
Right. I watched from home. So what was the... just give us a... Okay. Why were people not allowed to speak on the different agenda items, like as we usually do?
Oh, well, because I guess the mayor said he is the mayor and he controls the agenda. And what they did was they used that format. They used it for a special for like study sessions where that he said it was a test to see how it goes, like a pilot program or something, where you could talk about anything on the agenda, but you only have 3 minutes. You couldn't address everything. So people...
That doesn't make any sense.
Basically, in translation, he doesn't want to hear anybody's comments and he wants to get out of there early.
So he's trying to do a Tom Owens and say, I'm the dictator, I'm the overall elected mayor, which means, listeners, an elected mayor in Moreno Valley still means nothing. The city is controlled by a city manager. If this mayor was so powerful, we wouldn't have a city manager. Look at Riverside. They have a full-time mayor. We don't have that. Gutierrez is nothing but a clown. So,
with all the things he's unilaterally calling the shots on, I was thinking last night that he's kind of like if Obama was a teenager signing executive orders.
Yeah, well, that's one way to look at it.
Because he's the same. Here's the difference. We're in a general law city, so basically he has the same power as he has
as a council person.
He's a member of the city council. Mm-hmm. As an appointed mayor, only thing is different is he got elected citywide. That's it. And he still has the same power. So he has no control as he did when he was an appointed mayor.
So how does he arbitrarily change what we've been doing for over 32 years?
He doesn't have anyone telling him no.
Right. And, we have an attorney there that should have put him in check.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He basically says, I'm the mayor. I'm in control. And I'm using what's on the books, like you were saying, that says he runs the meeting. He controls the agenda. Basically, what a general law city mayor does. They don't have no power. Ceremonial,
he's just a council person.
Yeah, he's part of the city council.
Instead of the council in the old ways of selecting their own mayor, now the people get to select. Well, this is going to be the mayor. That's the only difference.
No, he's just adopting the practices of the government of his home country of Venezuela. He's like the new Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah. Thank you. But Sean, you got some items you want to run down real quick and.
Yeah. First thing I want to mention is that Melissa Martinez is going to be hosting a event for veterans and with PTSD. So
I will be there.
Yeah, I don't have all the information. I just made a quick note on my tablet last night. Sure. So yeah. But one thing I found really interesting was Evan Moran. whatever you want to call him. Just
Okay.
and call him idiot.
Right.
Some things, maybe some things, it's not so family friendly.
Gotcha.
But basically, he was accusing the people that opposing the World Logistics Center and Ito's friends of backbiting of all things. Like
What?
talk about the pot calling.
Yeah, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, talk about the pot calling the kettle black, and then he said, now that's interesting is because these people backstab each other on anything that they don't agree with.
Yeah, well, we saw that in the Jesse Molina election, as they all turned on him, and it was ugly.
Or even just the Facebook drama when these people get pissed at each other.
Oh my gosh!
But then, funny thing is that when it comes to backstabbing, he's suddenly criticizing Gaiba for things he used to either support him on or
applauded him on it,
or he dismissed as no big deal.
Well, I guess he figures after the Idowits and Highland Fairview gave him $250,000 that Gaiba should be a little bit more loyal. Mm-hmm. So,
just the cult propaganda is just staggering.
Right.
Have you been watching that Leah Remini Scientology documentary?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
there's so many parallels there.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
and Hemet is not far away, folks. So remember that.
Yeah, he does have ties to Scientology. I guess he didn't go for the whole thing when he discovered that Scientology will make him pay his bills.
Right, and I want everybody to listen to this. Evan Morgan is on the school board. And we will be monitoring his Highland Fairview money being funneled through his mommy to him. So be on the lookout. We are looking and watching, Mr. Moron, because you are a moron.
Other bizarre things. Luis Palomares was...
Louise! I love you, Louise!
Yeah,
Close the show!
About the conduct in council meetings.
Wait, Louise is talking about the conduct?
Yeah, that's what she said when she was freaking out at them.
That's not calling the kettle black.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Now that's funny, seriously.
Yeah,
the lady has a business, a chop shop in Pomona, and she won't bring it to Moreno Valley, but yet she's the first to holler about jobs. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We got plenty of cars you can chop here, Louise. Just, come on and bring them over.
I think Raphael, what's his name, needs to work on his English a little more because he said that, for one thing, I don't know what he was saying about moving people to another country. You can't make this stuff up.
I have no words right now.
Yeah, and he needs to work on his English because he seems to get a democratic and diplomatic mixed up because I don't see how he can remove people in a diplomatic way.
Well, Raphael's a friend of mine, and, he is from New York. And, he's a little hot-blooded, so when he gets a little, antsy, he kind of loses his train of thought there, and then his words get crossed. So I'm going to defend you, Raphael. We got some differences, but you're still my boy, so.
Yeah, and Evan Morgan said basically being a libertarian means he doesn't believe we should waste money on an election.
Does he really believe this stuff?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
Rating Heirs said most of the conflict in the city council started with Gutierrez's illegal appointment. This is like the total Twilight Zone.
This is a person who appointed and helped get elected a former bank robber, and she has the nerve to talk about where the corruption started and all this other stuff, and then can't identify a black man in a boot camp photograph with only 4 black men. So we know where her credibility is. So
yeah, and then Gutierrez didn't make any attempt to hide his butthurt in picking his choices for committees.
Did Gaiba make any committees?
Yeah, he made one
lucrative that was good.
He made a conservation committee.
Why did because he was on that other governing board that was very
JPA.
Well, he was on the JPA, but that other one for the Western
Riverside.
What is this idiot doing? See,
just a second.
but they talk about how we got to move the city forward, but this guy is throwing the city backwards.
On the Press Enterprise, he said, where is it?
Yeah, let's get a direct quote here. See how that's fine. Just like that.
Maybe it's the other tab.
But you know what I mean? It's like, why would you remove him from something he's been on for 2 years? So now you put somebody on there, and we already know Gutierrez and who else?
I've got it.
Okay, there you go.
Says, my platform is responsibility. My platform is prosperity and jobs. Maybe if you can support that, maybe in the next 6 months, I can reevaluate my decision.
What an idiot!
Yeah, he was saying that he opposed. He didn't want Guyba on committee because he opposed Gutierrez's vision for a strategic plan.
But he didn't have a problem with that 2 years ago.
I guess not.
Oh my gosh! Now do you guys understand why I call this guy an idiot? And by the way, it's been over 90 days since I requested Mr. Gutierrez, Idiot Gutierrez, to meet with me in regards to Mrs. Perez and the hole in her house. Now, I fixed it on my own, but the fact is, I'm a constituent. I asked to meet with him. He has yet to meet with me. Is it because I'm black, Mr. Gutierrez? Is that what it is? Are you trying to start a race war? No, I'm joking. So
he just doesn't want to talk to anyone that doesn't tell him the same thing he wants to hear.
Yeah, because every time I corner him at the council meetings and stuff, just talk to so and so and schedule an appointment, and I'll see you later.
Okay, I'll use a little analogy here. Let's use national politics. I mean, my first impulse would be to think that, for example, it would be nice if we had all 100%. Republican congressmen, senators, the president, and loaded courts.
Right.
But the thing is that when I think about it more rationally, that wouldn't work too well because there's no one saying, hey, wait a minute, what about the issues with fill in the blank here and here and here?
Correct.
So basically what Gutierrez has is a bunch of people that are yes men and are like-minded, and no one's testing any of these his ideas or proposals. He's just getting told exactly what he wants to hear, and he's going to work on that. And so we can expect a lot of unusual policies because no one's second guessing it and seeing if there's any problems with any of this.
Well, sorry about that. Well, let me ask you this, and maybe it's just me, Pastor Don. You're an older guy like myself. You're not that old, but we're
Gee, thanks a lot.
Yeah. We've been in the world, and by the way, Pastor Don has his beads in his hands, and he's been saying Our Fathers and Hail Marys this whole time we've been talking. But okay, like Pete or not, he's been in the city for a long time. Like me or not, I've been in the city for a long time. There's a lot of people who have been here for a very long time. And when you assemble a cabinet or whatever, you want people with experience that kind of know what's going on. You would think that this idiot would say, you know what, I'm going to go to some people that have been in Moreno Valley longer than me that knows, where the dead bodies are and what we need to do. To me, that would be the simplest thing. Yeah. So, but again, he's an idiot, and he hasn't met with me, and I have a chip on my shoulder about that. And
the only thing I don't understand, is that these folks are elected by the people.
We're idiots.
And the people want to meet with them. That's their job. Their job is to meet for the people. And the fact that he's gone 90 days without meeting with you on an issue that's a very important issue, I don't understand that. That's why he was elected by people.
Yeah. In the case of Victoria Baca, it's still questionable whether she was elected by the people or not.
Yeah, that's still questionable. And speaking of Victoria Baca, she won't meet with me either. So Victoria Baca, if you expect me to do for you what I did for LaDonna Jimson by doing all these projects in the district, you're on your own on that. So, but
I have to take serious issue with Victoria Baca being on the JPA committee.
They put her on the JPA committee?
Yes.
What kind of experience does she have military? She hates the military.
I think her only experience is trying to sue them.
Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. Moreno Valley in a nutshell. So, before I get totally disgusted here, Pastor Don, I was talking to somebody who heard your show yesterday. And I talked to them for like 15, 20 minutes. And they were like, oh my God, his devotion was so inspirational. People need that. I really love it. You know, like, and I was telling her some of the great things that can be coming up with your show. So just give us an update on what's happening with it.
Well, it's funny. I've heard a couple of comments since yesterday as well. And it does seem like a lot of the folks are truly enjoying. And I think a lot of it is because of what all you gentlemen are talking about. I mean, what we hear in this city, I mean, Daryl said it right. It's confusion. It's chaos. That's what it is. I mean, what this city needs is a revival, and because it's still going sideways, even back from the Tom Owings days. So I don't see the hope where the city council sits, but there is a whole lot of hope with what God's doing. I think what God will be doing in the city. You know, the church plant has a big plans for 2017.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, we're still praying that we'll have opportunities to be able to have services within the clubhouse area, the golf course over there in Rancho Balago, and we'll be having meetings with them this month to discuss those things. And you know, what Donovan and I talked about, we were going to bring the Boys and Girls Club in. Well, it looks like there's a partnership evolving between us, the folks at the golf course, and Donovan and I to bring the Boys and Girls Club here in Moreno Valley. That's happening.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but didn't LaDonna Jensen say she's working on a Boys and Girls? You know, she's always talking about what she's going to do. She was always talking about what she was going to do. Mm-hmm. Going to do. If you elect me, I'm going to do this. I wasn't elected, and I did a lot of great things, and through nice people and through God, it happened, and everything was done right.
Notice that anything productive is getting done without the city council's help.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the point. He's right. You know, the bottom line is that if city council is not going to do it,
ineffective,
and they are ineffective, then the churches have to step up.
That's why.
If other churches aren't stepping up, then you know what, Donovan? Then we are going to step up with this church plan.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do that. That's why I didn't bother saying anything about the homeless and mental health issues. Because assuming they listen, they just give me, they just either tell me what they want to hear or they'd come take pictures, and we don't need any of that.
Right.
That's true.
We need results.
Yeah.
So, but Pastor Don has been, we talked about this last year, and Viola with faith, prayer, it's coming into fruition. And
I'm excited. I really am. We've got some meetings set up, hopefully with the base in regard to helping with the homeless issue. I have given out about 100 blankets. I gave out some of the ponchos that Sean gave me. I gave out a whole bunch of excellent, awesome. We have been really doing what we can, and we're not even a church yet, to help some of these folks that really need the help. We're going to hopefully get a partnership with Path of Life, possibly, or another organization, Free Indeed, that wants to help us with this homeless issue. So, like you said, Donovan, I still believe in what your motto was, and it was, it's deeds, not words, and that's what this church is. We're not going to say we want to do these things. Yeah, we're going to give all the glory to God, because God gets all the glory, but we are going to do what we can, because you're right, City Council, we can't rely on them. We need to rely on us to build up this community.
At least those of us that can do.
Exactly.
And what we were talking about with the blankets and the ponchos, Pastor Don is going to need blankets, rain ponchos, those backpackers emergency blankets that are made of Mylar. Basically anything the cold, rain, and wind resistant for the homeless.
Yeah.
And on that point, Sean, a couple of folks gave me, Walmart were selling some of their blankets. They were trying to get rid of them at the end, and they were selling them for $1. We went and picked up a whole bunch, and I'm already passing those out to the homeless. But if any of you had a chance to buy some of those, or they still have them over at Walmart for that cheap price, please let myself or Donovan know. We'll come get them from you, and we will make sure they go to the right people. Right.
And those of you that are listening that are members of super churches in the neighborhood and stuff like that, please, tell them the message that this is what we're trying to do. And, I know the pastor, he needs that extra $1 for his Bentley that he rides around in his Gator shoes and all that other stuff. But I mean, if we got to come together as a church. I mean, when I look at these churches, and we have a lot of churches in Moreno Valley, and we have a lot of homeless in Moreno Valley. These churches alone can solve the homeless issue in Moreno Valley and the Inland Empire if they would come together.
And if anyone's thinking, they're just drunks and drug users, well, maybe so. We'll figure that out when it's not cold and rainy out.
Right, absolutely, yeah. So, like I said, I'm a Christian, and matter of fact, before I came to the show today, there was a guy by Walmart with his child, and he was asking for help and stuff like that. And, I'm just like wondering why is these churches, the city's not going to do it. Let's just face it. It took them 2 years for them to slurry my street. And I've been paying taxes for over 36 years. And
I'm wondering why it seems like the number of homeless are increasing.
Yeah.
What is it just becoming like a place where no one harasses them? Are they people that are hard luck cases where they're not getting any of those 8,000 jobs that Gutierrez claims he's made?
Right.
What's going on there?
Well, as a logistician, when you have a lot of warehouses in your home, in your city, you're going to attract a lot of homeless people because that's space that they can utilize to encamp. And it's just a fact of the business. And also, when you have a lot of warehouses, you have a lot of trucks, which brings a lot of prostitution. Now, people for the last 2 years have been laughing at me, saying I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you look at the statistics and you go to the police department and you look at the prostitution arrests on Sunnymead Boulevard, it has increased. So what does that tell you? So, Mr. Moreno Valley, Darrell Terrell, please enlighten us, on some other stuff that happened at the council.
Another concern is about the rollback of the Sunshine Ordinance. Remember where Victoria Baca, councilwoman, proposed to roll back from the 12-day viewing.
Yeah.
And to move it back to 72 hour, the Brown Act?
Right, the Brown Act.
Yeah. But to me, that doesn't make any sense. Again, it still doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. When you're saying we're taking steps backwards, we are revisiting, we're repeating history all over again.
Right. I mean, this is almost like 2010.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how it started out. Just like what's happening now with a limit of people speaking on different subject matters. And saying do it all in one, then saying, okay, let's roll back on the Sunshine Ordinance.
Okay, well, how about this? If you're going to make us speak on all the ordinances at one, just public comments is 3 minutes alone.
Yeah.
So then give us more time. Say, okay, you get 10 minutes to talk on everything.
Well, you should, but it doesn't do any good to say we're going to limit what you can say. Because 3 minutes, that means you ain't going to be able to talk about one subject, and that's it. You're not going to talk about 30 seconds on this subject. Okay, that's not realistic.
Well, has somebody seen Vivian Moreno? Because we need to bring her in here and then get a lawsuit going because that is an infringement on precedents that's been going on in the city council and limiting our freedom of speech.
Well, I don't know what. I'll get back to the Vivian Moreno thing, but let's say if we had 10 minutes. Would you really want to listen to Luis Palomares for 10 minutes straight, or Rafael Bargueras, or some people probably wouldn't want to listen to me for 10 minutes straight?
Well, I will tell you this. Luis Palomares can't talk 10 minutes straight. I will put $50 down to say that she can't talk about anything for 10 minutes straight.
I don't know. She can go on a tirade and ramble for a long time.
Yeah, she could go on and ramble, but it won't be about the subject at hand. So I know that for a fact. So, but that's an infringement on your freedom of speech, and that's a lawsuit because to change the way the agenda has already been set up, which is a precedent, you just can't go in there one day and just say, you know what? Because then if you start doing that, then you just say, you know what? We're having no speakers.
Well, I think
that's what his plan is.
Well, it seems like it. That's where it's happening. Like I said, you roll back the time you can review documents before a meeting. Then you do this by limiting people's speech. To me, you are and start having this mentality that I'm the mayor. I can do whatever I want.
I was elected,
and it means like Pete and Roy will say. Becoming a dictatorship. That's what Tom Owens was about.
Okay, well, let me ask you.
Did you get Ozzy to go for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Let me ask you this, real quick. Pete did say something at the council, and Pete is like I said. I support the Bleckerts almost 90% of the time because we've been here a long time. They've been here way longer than I have. But a lot of stuff that he's saying is right on point if you listen to what he's saying. So
I respect him.
So what did Pete say in general that really pissed him off?
Well, it's the fact that, like you, I respect him, and he was one of the people that I admired because he stood up and talked about what he believed. What he said last night is that the point that the illegal appointment for the cost of city $200,000. He says people weren't worried about. They didn't come up there and complain about that.
Right, what it cost us. Even though Gutierrez had said, if they find that I'm illegally appointed, I'll step down, and that's the end of it. But he appealed it and kept going and kept the legal fees going. Yeah. By the way,
and he was saying then people ain't said nothing about
what the cost of that was.
Yeah. And so it goes back to about this appointment situation of appointment versus election. The reason, and a comment was made saying, well, we depend on them to make the decision. I said, I don't depend on no council member to tell me what to do. I'm educated enough.
We're a republic, we're a republic, and I gotta work on my Gutierrez.
And the thing is the same thing is the people in the 4th district deserve that vote for their representative.
And that's what I'm saying. Why won't they let those people vote? They haven't voted in almost 4 years.
And because I think, as where the evidence is, I think there's agenda. It's always going to be an agenda. They have somebody in mind they want to put in there.
And now that Gaiba's not on the team, they're having a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't like Gaiba. I still don't trust him.
Right.
But it's just strange to think that Gaiba is possibly the most reputable one on that council now. Right now.
Well, I mean, what do you think about Dave Marquet?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. He's still fairly new and stuff like that. And he's backed by the Democratic Club of Moreno Valley, Radiant Heirs' group.
Oh, the Central Committee of the Communists?
Yeah, it's pretty familiar like that. But, like I said, I was listening to him last night, and he's doing the best that he can with the information that he's getting. So I'm gonna give him a little leeway because, like I said, me and Dave go back. We're Air Force guys.
The only thing concerns me is that Democratic Club isn't exactly the best and brightest.
No, it isn't, because when you run a known bank robber and expect that person, once that information is out, to win re-election, you bring back Victoria Baca. So when people want to get mad about Victoria Baca being on the seat right now, you need to look at the Democratic Club of Moreno Valley.
Also, the economic policies they're pushing. They're okay with all the warehouses. They're okay with all the little
it's all about
jobs.
Union,
And they want everyone to get the $15 an hour for it.
Ain't gonna
basically,
happen.
what they're doing is they're setting up a system where it's like you have a standard laborer's wage, and where everyone needs Section 8 housing, food stamps, and whatnot, and government health care to get by, while these other people are living big.
Right,
and they've got the connections, and they're all helping each other out. And I guess their parents never made them sit down and watch the fall of the Berlin Wall to see how all that economic policy turns out.
Well, again, these are just facts. Why did Radiant Heirs' daughter run for school board? She had no chance of winning. She doesn't have any kids herself. She's a lesbian, which is okay. I'm cool with lesbians. Why did she run? Because that Democratic money, it's all about the money. It's funneled so she can give that money to her daughter, and they can live off and get their payoff and stuff like that. And that's where we're at with those guys. So, but Daryl, Pete was, basically he was on a tirade of like, did he call anybody out or?
Well, he basically he was just saying the council. I mean, he was so he's a passionate individual.
It seemed like a lot of it was directed at Gutierrez.
Yeah, he's a very passionate man. I mean, like I said, I respect him and what he says, and he's a good man. And I can understand his frustration. The fact that he calls it like he sees it.
Right.
The fact that. One moment you don't want to have an election, you want to get rid of Gary Ball from the school board.
Right, hypocritical.
Then you want to go for appointment, but then Councilwoman Baca says, well, there's two different situations or whatever.
It isn't a situation. Democracy is democracy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because the people deserve the right to vote for their people in power.
Yeah, and when people don't have the ability to speak, then that just causes resentment to boil and cause tension between people, and eventually you have angry mobs.
Right. District 4 has I think is really the most condensed population of the city. A lot of people live in District 4. Mm-hmm. And to not give them a voice, to me, is ridiculous. I mean, come on. I mean, okay, I'm over here in District 1, okay? And people barely vote over here. And we got a chance to vote. I think everybody else should be given that chance.
Well, it's the thing. A comment was made by a public speaker that says, "Well, people won't come out and vote." I say, if they have an interest in that election, they'll come out. Yes. They came out doing the recalls, and they'll come out for this especially. Right. I think it's your job as a voter to educate yourself and do your right and to express your democratic right to go and vote. And to say people will not come out, you don't. You're not.
Well, that's speculation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And if you have a stake in, you'll come out and vote.
Absolutely,
plain and simple.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's only 100 people,
you should not have an election because people won't come out and vote.
Okay. Keep going on.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes I sit there and listen. I'm like, well, I'm gonna vote anyway because I always vote.
Right.
And regardless if it's a water board race or whatever, I'm going to go out and educate myself and I'm going to go vote. And it doesn't make any sense. It says, well, not too many people come out and vote, so I guess you must have to cancel the election altogether.
Maybe. I think I figured this out. Why they don't want District 4 to vote is because District 4 voted in District 1 election and District 3's election. Could be. You never know. Yeah. I mean, speculating. I mean, because why are they so resistant to letting those people vote? Because at Victoria Baca's office, they were doing a lot of absentee voting in there. And, they were telling people in this district, District 1, if you bring your vote to the office of Victoria Baca, I'm an education consultant. I will help you fill out the voter registration. And like I said, if you look at the numbers of the registrar, there are more people that voted in District 1's election than are registered to vote. How did that happen? And by the way, there is somebody, I wonder who, filed an FPPC violation. And I hope that person who filed it, I mean, there's always one person who wants to spoil the apple cart. And I wonder who that person is. Either he's a troublemaker, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Even though he puts those documents up and they're true and he goes down to the courthouse, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Well, we need people that will point out crap, even though with the city council, I mean, you could just close your eyes, spin around, point in any direction, and you still point out crap.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The funny thing about the special election is that Gutierrez said that the special election would cause conflict.
Conflict with what?
There's conflict among the community. I'm trying to find the exact...
Oh, my God. Yeah, I remember he said that last night. Yeah, but that didn't make any sense to me. Conflict. There's already conflict by not having the election. Yeah. So, Pastor, as a man who sits as a soldier of God, as you're looking at all this, what is your take on all this?
I don't know. It almost mirrors what we're seeing in the national scene as well. This idea of just chaos and confusion. You still have all this backlash on the national election. You're hearing all these things about folks going out to protest the inauguration. It's going to be a big division. Mm-hmm. But I guess my point to that is at least people voted. Again, I cannot justify in any state of mind why you would not allow people to vote, even if only 10% voted. Right. Well, then those 10% need to be represented. So I cannot think of any good and positive reason not to allow District 4 to vote.
Okay, I've got the quote from the Press Enterprise. Okay. When we do a special election, I think there is going to be more division. I was hoping we could move past that. As Gutierrez said, according to Press Enterprise.
And all he's doing is making more division.
How is it division when people are voicing their what they want?
What they want.
It's just propaganda. It's just, like I said, it's that cult propaganda mentality that's developed among that bunch.
Was Ido Bendizi at the meeting?
I didn't see him.
Isn't it funny? He only goes to the meetings when his lackeys are there or there's an announcement that makes Highland Fairview look really, really good. And, and I'm bringing that up because Ito and me are good buddies. We do play tennis on Saturdays. And, he lets me go to his yacht and things like that because, he doesn't live in Moreno Valley. He lives out in Orange County. So Laguna Niguel area, wherever he's living out there. And, I want everybody to listen to this. I tried my best to have Ito bring back the turkeys and bring back the free dinners. I mean, because I was starving. Well, my mom was here, so I ate really, really good. But you know what I mean? I mean, here's a guy that's getting all the favors, and he didn't do anything for the homeless people.
Yeah. Well, all that will be back as soon as he wants something again.
Okay. And, as we speak into that, we are going to go take a break, pay some bills real quick. I want to talk about Mino Stereo, been in business 27 years. The guy has the hookup. He is expanding. If you need the radio hookups in your car, your rims, whatever. Does Mino do rent-a-rim? I don't think he does. No. He wants his money up front. Okay, so Mino's a great guy. Been in business, small business, but we have a lot of plans in the coming new year. So guys, please stand by. We have Daryl Terrell Times. Sean, have you come up with a name for your show yet?
No, I'm still working on that. There's a few things I like, but I try to think if there's anything that's also used that. It always turns out there's something else that's beaten to it. Beaten
to it, okay. And of course we have Reflections, Pastor Don's weekly devotional, so we're going to be working on that. But you guys stay tuned. We're going to be right back. We got a lot more to talk about because I have a big question in regards to what happened last night and where we're going as a city and some of the big plans that are happening in 2017. So stand by.